What's up, guys? I'm Josh Mosiman, and welcome to This Week in MXA, episode number 107, presented to you guys by O'Neill Racing. Thank you for tuning in. Anaheim 1 Supercross is in the books. Supercross has officially started. The 2023 season is here and up and running, and boy, was it a crazy one to watch. I was there in person, and just the crashes were heartbreaking to see, a reminder of just how gnarly Supercross is. But the battles, man, they made it sure exciting in the 450 class, especially with lots of different riders leading the 450 main event, and a close battle pretty much all the way through the race. So good times. Let's talk about the highlights from Anaheim 1, and let's do a preview of what's to come at Oakland right here. So I'm mainly going to focus on Eli Tomac here because he was the star of the show on Saturday night. Very, very impressive. What was most interesting, though, is that this is his first time winning Anaheim 1 in 10 years of racing the 450 class. Now, if you go back and look at the history books and look at the results over the years, Eli Tomac did win in 2013 the 250 class at Anaheim 1, and that was also the first year that he raced the 450 in select Supercross events. However, it wasn't until 2014 when he turned 450 full-time, so he didn't race the 450 class at Anaheim 1 in 2013. But after that, he struggled at the season opener. Anaheim 1, he raced there 9 times. And then if you guys remember, during the COVID pandemic, 2021, Anaheim wasn't the opener. The opener was at Houston. So let's take a look at the results and see where Eli Tomac has landed over his 10 450 season starts in the 450 class in Supercross. So 2014, first time racing Anaheim 1 on the 450, he finished 21st. 2015, he finished 20th. 16, he finished 4th, much better. 2017, he was 5th, pretty good. 2018, back to 22nd place. 2019, he was 3rd, his first time getting on the podium at Anaheim 1. Then 2020, he was 7th. In 2021, when the season opener was at Houston, he got 13th. In 2022, last year, he finished 6th at the season opener. And this year, he finally gets the win. Pretty awesome to see Eli Tomac win the most prestigious race of the year. You can argue that Motocross of Nations might be the top spot, but really for American motocross fans and Supercross fans, Anaheim 1 is the pinnacle. It is, in my opinion, the most exciting race of the year. Tomac showed up on a new brand, other riders switched teams. There's just a lot of hype coming into Anaheim as we haven't seen these guys race for the last few months. So Anaheim 1, Eli Tomac finally checked it off the list, and I got to talk to him after the race. If you haven't seen that interview, I talked to him, and it was a fun time getting him to laugh a couple times. He even lightened up and shared what his post-race dessert is and his kind of go-to dessert. So that was kind of fun just to learn a little bit more about this guy who's always so stoic. He's always so championship minded. He never leads on that he's, too emotionally attached to anything, but it was fun to poke and prod at him this weekend before the race started and after the race started. So 2 interviews, both on our YouTube channel. Check them out, Motocross Action Mag. A couple other notes about Eli Tomac. He now has a combined total for Motocross and Supercross wins. He has 89 total wins, which ties Jeremy McGrath for overall wins with Motocross and Supercross combined. However, he's got a long ways to go to catch Jeremy McGrath in Supercross only wins, because Jeremy won a lot more indoors than he did outdoors. Jeremy McGrath, he has 72 wins in Supercross. Eli Tomac, he has 45 wins in Supercross. So you can tell Eli Tomac, a lot of his wins have come from outdoors. Tomac also did pass Chad Reed on the all-time win list in Supercross with that 45th win. Tomac also became the 11th different rider to win the first round of a Supercross race on a Yamaha, and now he has won at least one Supercross race for 9 consecutive seasons in the 450 class, which also ties Jeremy McGrath for consecutive wins. Congrats, Eli Tomac, very impressive stats, and now he can finally say that he's won Anaheim 1 and he can cross that one off his checklist. All right, next up, let's talk about the MVP of Supercross, the Dirt Wurx crew. The Dirt Wurx crew was in charge of building, managing, and maintaining the track at Anaheim 1, and they did a great job of salvaging what could have been a big mud race. Eli Tomac, he said he expected to walk into the stadium and see Lake Anaheim. Well, that was not the case because the Dirt Wurx crew, they flew out to California the day after Christmas, as soon as they got off the plane at LAX, they drove to the track and started building right away. And they were able to build the track while it was still dry, cover it with tarps, and then leave it covered up until the rain stopped on Friday before the race. Luckily, we had a sunny day on Friday for press day. They didn't ride press day, which helped salvage the track a little bit longer. And then Saturday, we had great weather for race day. But Dirt Wurx, everybody expected to see a mud track. Well, Dirt Wurx did a great job of managing it, but now they have their work cut out for them as we head to Oakland Supercross. We've already seen some videos from the Dirt Wurx crew of the track they have up there. Luckily, Monster Jam was there last weekend, so the dirt is already inside of the stadium, but it is going to be a tough challenge for the Dirt Wurx crew to basically build the track in the mud. I got to talk to a few of the Dirt Wurx guys about what it was like managing Anaheim 1 and how they were able to get it as good as they could. And I also asked them about Oakland Supercross, what they're going to do and how they're going to be able to manage that. Another note, everybody in the pits was talking about a rumor that was going around that they might actually cancel the Oakland Supercross and move it to Anaheim this weekend. So this year is the first year in a while that we've only had 2 Anaheims on the schedule. Last couple years we've had 3 Anaheims. So this year we have Anaheim 1 this past weekend, and then we'll go to Oakland, San Diego, and then we got Anaheim 2. Well, they were talking about canceling Oakland, building another Anaheim, and calling it good there. Well, that was a big rumor going around the pits, but I can tell you guys that there's no plans for Anaheim 2 to happen this weekend. They're still headed to Oakland Supercross. Dirt Wurx is already up there working on the track, and one big reason why they can't go to Anaheim again this weekend is because Monster Jam is going to be there. So tickets already been sold for Monster Jam. They already got lots of plans and things going on in place. So Feld produces Monster Jam and AMA Supercross. This weekend we're going to Oakland and it's going to be gnarly. Let's hear from a couple of the guys from Dirt Wurx about what it was like to build Anaheim and what they're going to do for Oakland this weekend.
Alex Gillespie, own Dirt Wurx.
Pete Henderson, worked for Feld Motorsports and Dirt Wurx.
Lake Anaheim. That's what Eli Tomac was expecting when I interviewed him yesterday.
Okay.
And he was super impressed with you guys' work. So give us like a brief overview of just what it took to get the track from what it was to what it is now.
Yeah, so I left New York on the day after Christmas, and we got here on the 29th. Literally got right out of the Sprinter van and went straight to work because there was only a few windows of us building this thing before it really rained. So I knew it was going to be pretty good because the jumps were hard. The dirt came in pretty dry and got tracked in and everything before the weather, but the flats were the problem.
Yep.
So obviously operations has to set up the manager's towers and the Goliath tower and pyro. So there's all these other aspects where the forklifts were driving on the floor and kind of made everything muddy, but I knew the jumps were good. So nice. I think today we're going to see some soft transitions and but the jumps will be good. So the track is pretty good.
Awesome.
We spent all day yesterday bucketing out mud out into the parking lot and bringing in some fresh dirt to try and repair any floor damage that there was. But yeah, I'm excited for A1.
That's awesome. So you got a pile of mud out there and you have fresh dirt that's like you saved just in case you needed it or what?
Yeah, we had some extra dirt out in the parking lot. So we totally needed to utilize it.
Awesome. All right. And Pete, tell us, how stressed was Feld about the rain for Anaheim 1?
Well, Anaheim 1, as you know, is like the most prestigious event we host. So the stress levels are high coming into it. You know, they want to make the sponsors happy and the riders happy at round 1. But with the amount of rain in California in general, I mean, here, Oakland, San Diego, we're dealing with weather in all 3 cities. And we're just trying to put on the best race that we possibly can. And
awesome.
That's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so I just learned earlier today from your coworker that Monster Jam is competing in Oakland this weekend, right?
Yeah. It's been bad there. I don't know if anyone was looking at the weather the past 10 days, and the next 10 days it's just straight rain. So they had a huge challenge to get the material in for us because it stays in for when we go there. So that's a help on our part. But yeah, I don't know if that's been released yet, but there is a revised track map.
Okay.
It's the same layout, just the jumps are kind of more mud friendly.
Nice.
Yeah, there's no point in building a full-blown Supercross track if everyone's just going to roll the jumps. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's just tamed down, same layout, just smaller jumps, less dirt quantity, and I think it'd make for better racing.
Awesome. So what's like the protocol for you? So if Monster Jam's already there, that's good.
Yeah.
They have the track, or they have dirt in there, but what's the protocol for you guys now that it's just got rain all week and you got to go build a track?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to look at the weather closely, and whenever there's a window when there's not going to be rain, we're going to go in there and just try and get it done. I know we have excavators there instead of loaders because the loaders won't really be able to drive on the floor. So Monster Jam has their big tabletops in the middle, so we'll be baling dirt kind of all over the floor and trying to put it exactly where it needs to go. But I've never, from what I'm seeing on the weather, we've never really had something where it just rains straight through all the way to the end. I mean, maybe Rich Winkler has when he started, but in my 10 years, there's usually always a little pocket where we get some sunlight and can make it happen. So it's going to be a challenge.
Awesome.
I also saw Ryan Dungey running around the track on Saturday during the track walk, and asked him about the track conditions at Anaheim and what it's like to be a rider getting ready to race out on track like that, where it's muddy on the side, hard pack on the jumps, soft in between. He gave us some tips for really stuff that would help out the guys that are riding and racing, but it's interesting for guys like you and me to listen to.
All right, Ryan. So Anaheim 1 Supercross press day didn't happen because of the rain, and then track walk, everybody's impressed with the track. I mean, your thoughts being a rider, seeing mud on the side of the track, seeing the weather we've had here, what are your thoughts on just how Dirt Wurx was able to salvage?
They've been doing a great job. I mean, I think for years now they've been really, covering the tracks, doing it properly, making sure things run off towards the side of the tracks. And I think as a rider, all you really care about is the track is dry and you've got a good race course.
Yep.
Of course, don't jump off to the side. That wouldn't be good. But for the most part, I think track walk here at A1 has been pretty solid. I honestly think too, as it's going to get pretty rough throughout practice, but then by nighttime, these guys, the dirt crew is going to work all the rhythms and the transitions, and for racing,
Yep.
It's probably going to be actually pretty dang good, and which is good for us to watch, because that means passes are going to happen. That means there's a lot of line choices,
Yeah.
and things are going to open up pretty good. So looks like a good track.
Is it going to be hard for riders to set up bikes after qualifying will be so different from the night show with like mud and stuff?
I think just don't chase it, because I think that's the thing you have to bear in mind is practice track's gonna get chewed up. It's gonna get rough. I think you got to be okay if you're a top qualifier. Great. If you're off a little bit, you got to know by the night show things are going to clean up. You're going to have a better flow. Another thing you got to remember: these practice times are 1 lap heaters.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do in 1 lap is very different 20 laps. But that pace is probably going to be the same come the race time.
Totally.
Another little history note for you guys. It was actually in 1979 when Jimmy Weinert won the Oakland Supercross with a paddle tire on his bike. And shortly after that, the AMA banned paddle tires from motocross and supercross racing. But it's a cool bit of history because this weekend seemingly is going to be a very muddy one where paddle tires are going to be very important. However, the AMA regulated what paddle tires were allowed in supercross and motocross. At that time, he was using a full Glamis sand dune style paddle tire that's just straight paddles and that's it. Nowadays, companies like Dunlop tires, they make MX14 scoop tires with knobbies that are up to regulation size for AMA racing and stuff that you can be using for motocross and supercross. So honestly, I expect the MX14 to be used this weekend at Oakland Supercross because I think it's going to be that muddy. Either way, it's going to be an exciting one to watch. Cool bit of history though, 1979 Oakland Supercross, that's where the paddle tire got banned. Shortly after that, Jimmy Weinert won the main event. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see if we see some paddles, especially Eli Tomac. He loves that paddle tire. So thank you guys for watching This Week in MXA, episode 107. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos that we have from Anaheim 1. Eli Tomac, he told me what his favorite technique drill was in his pre-race interview. So that was pretty fun. I talked to Cooper Webb about his bike changes and everything leading up to the season. Cooper Webb was very open and honest with me in that interview on Friday. So be sure to check out those videos on our website, motocrossactionmag.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with the latest videos. See you in the next one.